All right, let's get right into it. Wendell and Brice, Survivor legends, thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Legend, you use that term loosely.
Definitely not. You two were easily some of my faves ever.
Thank
I'm a
you.
huge Survivor fan. I'm just not caught up in this season because I like to binge watch it in a sense. And Survivor's weird because it's one episode at a time. I feel like in elementary school, it's like with Netflix and everything, I'm not used to the having to wait for it.
Well, with my season, you only need like 2 episodes to get there.
I was so upset because I was actually watching a recap of both of you guys, and like I forgot that happened. You got just the boot, but your peace out at the end was so good.
Let them know. Okay?
You were like, well, if they wanted to vote out the cutest, best, most beautiful person, like I understand.
Yes. Take it with bells and whistles.
They weren't ready for this guy.
Yeah, clearly. So for the listeners who don't know you guys, can you walk us through a little bit about who you were before Survivor, your Survivor journey, and then where you are now and what you're working on? Just a quick little recap.
Well, I'll go first because it's kind of the same. Not much has changed. I was a social worker before Survivor. I went on for the $1 million, and I got off with $25. But I'm still a social worker, and in the Philadelphia area, just living my best life. I have a podcast now, the Purple Pants Podcast, and where I talk about just like my experience as a Black queer man in America today, and like my takes on reality TV and other things. And I get to kind of tour the great states with Wendell with our tours, so it's a fun experience.
I love that you guys are doing all that together. It's awesome.
Yeah, I got lucky to team up with Brice, I guess, during my season, so that was 2018, and we've been like best friends ever since.
So you guys were on a season together?
No.
I was going to say, did I miss something?
I'll tell the story. So, in the Survivor tradition, if there's somebody from your city, you always, reach out to the person and, hey, how are you? Wendell season comes out, and, people are texting me, it's somebody from Philly, and that's going to be on Survivor. And I'm like, really? So I have to, go online, find out who he is, send him a message, and then that's how we became friends. And then after we became friends, I learned that, he's messaging thousands of survivors.
Just like that.
Hi, my name is Wendell. I'm going to be on Survivor.
Okay, so there's always multiple sides to a story.
He was waiting. I love the patience.
You gotta let him say his piece. But basically, before Survivor, I was a law clerk. I worked in City Hall in Philadelphia, and I was obviously a big Survivor fan. I did watch Brice. However many decades ago he was on. I did watch him back then.
I loved that season. I love how they broke it up.
Listen, the best
so
season.
Interesting.
Okay.
It was a great season.
I want a season like that again, when they break it up by beauty, brains. That was interesting.
Yeah. So, but then another Philly survivor, Russell Swan, he is an attorney in Philadelphia. So I'd always see him, not always, I saw him a few times around Philly as this law clerk that's a Survivor fan. So one time in front of City Hall, I ran up to him and I'm like, Russell, I watched you on Survivor. I'm a huge fan. I'm gonna be on the show one day, I promise. And then he was like, okay, cool, good to meet you. And he kept it moving. I even DM'd him on Facebook. I sent him this long message.
Check.
Okay, all right, you were right. Okay, you were right. So I messaged Russell. This is maybe 2013, 2012, something like that, way long ago. And so that was my interaction with a Philadelphia survivor. Although we have a lot of great Philly survivors like Jervis, like Ramona, we got Brice, Russell, obviously. And there are even a few more. So I went to law school. I was a law clerk out of law school. As a side passion of mine, I started building and designing things, like tables and beds and other things, because I always had this passion inside me to create. And after, I guess, the last judge that I was clerking for in family court in 2015, he retired, I decided to go full-time building. And I just built a lot of things. I put a name to my company. I called it Beeve Unlimited. Beeve is my childhood nickname, actually. And then I just figured I'd just say unlimited because we just build a lot of things,
Limitless,
anything.
Baby.
Limitless, exactly. And I'd applied for Survivor for years until I took this turn in careers. And then finally, when I started building, that's when they finally accepted me on the show. And I just thought that I thought the universe was telling me a lot of things. And at that point, I was 33, and I got on the show after applying for maybe 7 to 10 years prior.
So did your story for your pitch or your submission video change? Was it before you were the lawyer, and then you went from lawyer, freelance.
It changed, and my look even changed. I think it was part of my look because like I started growing out the hair. I think I had the beard at that point. You know, I think I looked more like, all right, we're not gonna throw this little square dude out there and he's gonna do terrible. He might do all right, you know? So, and also I think applying so many times different ways. I went to like live auditions. I sent in applications. I have video footage of me in like California, up like waiting in a long line. But doing so much to get on, I think they saw it and they were like, all right, there's something in this guy. Whereas, and I know I'm talking a lot, whereas sometimes there are like unicorns that apply, that they see them in 30 seconds, they'll know. Brice Izyah is a unicorn, okay?
Did you apply once?
Just once. And it's supposed to be a 3-minute video, but I couldn't figure out how to compress it. So I just sent in 30 seconds and I was like, F it. Like, what's going to happen, and they called me back. So
what was your 30-second video?
I was just literally, I had a couple glasses of wine. Ooh. Okay, you know, trying to.
See, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
This is how you do it.
A little spicy, and I just held my phone. I was like, y'all never saw somebody like me before. I would get out there. I would kill it. Mm-hmm. You not ready?
And then what happened?
I wasn't ready.
Hey, you got on. And you get to say you were a Survivor.
Yes, for sure.
How life-changing was the experience of Survivor?
For me, I feel like when people think they're going to go on Survivor and it's going to be like this amazing experience, and that it is, for me, it was really like life affirming. Like I felt like all of the things that I knew about myself were true, and that I feel like the experience just kind of sort of reaffirmed it, and like to really just like walk in your light. And like Wendell was saying before, I really do think that when I was on Survivor, they really weren't ready for a character like me. I was the first openly gay Black player to play Survivor.
Congrats, by the way. That's amazing. That's iconic. That in and of itself.
I mean, yes, but it's also sad thinking that like I was on 28 seasons. Like, you know, we're out here, we exist. So for me, it was just really just reaffirming and just like walking in your light and just like, you know, let your light shine.
So the reason why I think Survivor people and people who have been on Survivor are so cool, it's like because you really had so much time, no phone, no technology, no DoorDash, no American ease. You guys were out there in the wild, and like that must change a person. Like, what do you really feel like? You obviously saying you learned about a lot of yourself and how it reaffirmed you, but how did you feel your life changed after that, just on your perception of obviously who you are and how you were living? Because you have so much time, I imagine, to just think, right?
I ain't had that much time.
Yeah, how much time did you have, Brice? Some of us had a little more time than others.
But me personally, I think that it just really. So when I was out there was a typhoon that came, and so it rained for 3 days straight. Yes. And so like it started in the middle of the night, and we were thinking like, oh my God, as soon as the sun comes up, like we'll be good. The sun never came up. And so it was just like being soaked, your hands pruny. For me, it just was like really like the things that we take for granted. And like still to this day, whenever it rains and I'm like in my house and I'm just like, whew, thank you.
Yeah.
So it's like little stuff like that.
An entirely new perception. And I think that a lot of people nowadays struggle a lot. I struggled a lot with anxiety until I started pushing myself to do real things, right? I studied abroad. I moved out. I started traveling more, building my own business. I really started doing things, right? And I feel like actually getting out in life helps people a lot mentally. Do you feel like you guys had that kind of experience?
For sure, yeah. I think I've always been a proponent of like traveling and getting outside of your comfort zone. I chose to go to Morehouse College in Atlanta from Philadelphia because I wanted to travel to just open up new things for me. And I chose to be an international studies major because I wanted to travel more. And just like you, I did abroads, and I just did that because I like, this is a big world, you know, and there's so much to it and so many different cultures. So I think that doing those things, it just opens you up to so many different perspectives and stuff. And even with Survivor, like, I got out there not knowing who I was going to be out there with. And again, they do strip you from your phone, the internet, anything, any communication with back home.
Is that therapeutic in a sense?
It can be, you know, for some people it's a little hard. And also things like cigarettes or coffee or these things that some people are certainly used to. So it's hard for them. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid.
It's a real cleanse.
Yeah.
It's a full-blown cleanse.
The Survivor diet is real, though. When I came off the island, though, I was in the mirror like, who is this?
Yeah. So
is it because you're actually starving?
Yes.
Oh, 100%. People are like, oh, I should go on that Survivor diet. Well, just don't eat for 3 weeks.
That's all that is. Is it hard to adjust back afterwards with eating and just normal lifestyle in general?
I mean, again, my transition was a little easier because when I got voted off, I went to what's called like Ponderosa. So I just, had margarita my pain away.
You got over it quick enough.
Real quick.
Sometimes some people have difficult times transitioning because you're thrown in this game with people you don't know, and then you might get blindsided, and all of a sudden, these people that you built trust with for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, what have you, all of a sudden, that trust is stripped from you, and you're like, my goodness, I was just lied to for 2 weeks. Can I even reintegrate into society and trust people or anything like that? So some people do have it really hard, and I think on my second time out there, season 40, I kind of had it more difficult because I was trying to understand how my first season, it seemed like everything went well for me, and then I won. And then I come back out 2 years later, and I'm out there with all winners, some of whom lost once and won once. Some people lost a couple times and won. So they'd been through a little more than me, who'd just been on 2 seasons prior.
Yeah.
And I think they played a different game. With me, it was like, I just won 2 years ago. Woohoo, let's do it again. And with them, they're like, oh, we're going to snipe these one-time players. And so then I think my transition back to like, into Ponderosa, but also into society was a little bit different.
Such interesting points. So first, season 40 was obviously epic.
Yeah.
When you talk about there was a different kind of play, is there true experience that helps when it comes to the game? And what is it? Is it mental? Is it strategic? Do people make alliances beforehand? What's the bonus that they kind of have there?
There's so much to it, Shannon. Like, for example, if you think about Brice's first season, Cagayan, we saw Tony, and he came out there and he played like this madman, and he won. So, and his style of play is like he's like a superhero at Survivor, if there's a superhero, right? And then he came back for Game Changers, season 34, I think, and they knew it was Tony. Their only view of Tony was him being a superhero, so they sniped him early on Game Changers. So that, to me, that humanized Tony. He's not a superhero, he's just like us. So he comes out a third time, that guy's just human, Anyone, we can take him out at any point. Right. Whereas I had just won, and like, the perception of me was, oh, Wendell might be like pretty good at challenges, pretty likable, charismatic, just won, one of the younger guys or whatever. So I think I was more visible than even a superhero that just won the greatest season of all time.
Absolutely.
Because he had numerous seasons under his belt.
Right.
So you have these vets that have done it 2, 3, 4. I think Boston Rob might have been out there. It might be his 6th time out there.
I thought it was so funny how they were talking. He came on this podcast and he was talking about how for season 40, everyone had to go because the season before that was the Island of the Idols, and everyone had to go by on the boat and see
his statue. His whole face is out there.
Like shit.
Yeah. So you got people that are like serious. They've been in the game for like decades.
Right.
And even their friendships. Like some people have known each other for 2 decades that are coming on this season, and I just got on 2 years prior, Yeah. And I think all of that plays into how people were targeted in the game because very coincidentally, all those old school players were voted out first. There was no I had my friends going into the game, Michelle, Nick, Adam, but we didn't say we're gonna target the old school players, but
maybe you should have.
I mean, but naturally you think I don't want to sit next to Boston Rob.
Right.
I don't want to sit next to Ethan at the end.
Yeah.
So that's just how it happened. But again, those players that played a lot really had a leg up, big time. Lesson learned.
How did you do though in Winners at War?
So
first merge boot.
So wait, you were eliminated third on your season?
I'm just asking.
Double that.
He loves it. Just I feel like the playing field is
it's even.
You have a chirp back a little bit now.
So on Winners at War, I was the merge boot. Which is still further than my best friend Brice
Maybe
made.
the merge is probably the goal for most players,
it
right?
It is. For me, that would have been my $1 million.
Yeah.
I just always when I watched Survivor at home, when I was, because I'm much younger than Wendell. Okay, when he graduated college, I was just starting kindergarten.
8 years old.
Yes.
He just doesn't look it.
But for me, just the merge feast when they're eat. For me, I'm just it's 2 episodes for me. It's the merge feast and the family visit.
Yes.
The family visit, I don't care what it is. If somebody's grandmom comes out and I'm just watching crying,
Yeah.
like, look at the grandma. So
She's like wobbling over there. She's competing. She's like trying to do the puzzle. I always find that crazy when they have the family members compete with them, and you have this person's brother who's like 6'3" and jacked, and then you have someone's mom who's like 68, you know, like trying to do the puzzle and leap over things. So speaking of family visits, I think of you immediately.
Yes.
Because your dad came and it was this amazing moment. And you guys are like twins essentially, and you get the opportunity to hang out with him more. And then you got offered the opportunity to get an advantage. You immediately choose the advantage, which I hope you have no regrets about, because, you know, you were there to play the game. You were there to play the game, and at the end of the day, I do think that contributed to you winning.
Right.
But I need to know, what was that really like going through that, to have gone for the advantage, which ended up doing nothing for you, and trade
Thanks
that.
for the reminder.
Well, it must have hurt. It
Yeah.
must have hurt, and that's what I need to know. What was that like, and going out there and just sitting with that? It's not like you could be like, hey, Dad, sorry about that.
Yeah,
Like,
my bad.
Yeah, text him.
Let's hope for the best, senior.
He's back in the airport.
So that's a great question, and I, as a student of the game, I went into the game, my first time ever playing, knowing that if I make it so far as a family loved ones visit, the loved one that I want, and I'm a mama's boy. I love my mother, right? When it comes to my dad, people say that like I am his like little replica. I'm like a twin of Wen Senior, and
sorry, Wen Senior looked better.
He's looking good.
all right, fine. Wen Senior looks better, but my dad was a college athlete. He's, you know, a very successful person, right? And I think we're on the same mindset where it's like when you're in a game, when you're competing, you have a goal, and that's the goal. So in thinking of choosing my dad to come out and visit, I just figured if he comes out, he'll give me the strength, he'll give me the strong hug. If my mom comes out, it's gonna be like a crying week. You know, I'll melt all over the sand.
Yes.
So when Senior comes out, and I ended up crying all over the place anyway, but I was able to make that tough decision where I said, you know, I'll go to Ghost Island and get an advantage instead of having lunch in Fiji with my dad and the rest of the folks. And I think when we were standing there and Jeff gave us that decision, I even think Wen Senior was like, you better do that, or something. Like, we were on the same page again, as that's my guy, you know?
Yeah.
So, and he knew my goal out there, and they had all that trust in me going out there. So it was a hard decision, but I think it worked out. Even though the advantage I got, I fumbled that. Okay, I could have done better
I feel
with
like
that.
that happens a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like advantages just don't often help very much. Like, those people don't often win when they get the advantage and then go and compete with it. I don't know why. I feel like they almost get in their head with it.
Psyched out?
Yeah. It's like, oh, I got this, but then you're like, oh, it better be worth it. And you had the pressure of trading that for your dad and all of that. That probably played a role in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and they sent me out to Ghost Island, which is this island where you're isolated. It's just you out there, and I was making fire, and I made the fire, and I fell asleep next to it, and then throughout the night I'd reach down and throw wood in the fire, and while I was sleeping I reached down, I grabbed something, I guess it was a softer piece of wood down there, I threw it in the fire, and I woke up and my shoe was on fire, in the fire, and they didn't catch it on camera, and I was like,
Guys.
now I got one shoe to compete in for the rest of the season, so.
They wouldn't give you a new one?
They didn't give me a new one.
Did they give you guys anything, like toothpaste?
No.
Sunscreen?
Yes.
Okay. That's good. Bug spray?
Part of the sunscreen. The sunscreen has,
Okay.
it's like a huge thing. You just, deep. Yeah, it has deep. Yeah.
So kind of 2 for 1. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So did winning make it worth it, all that struggle with the advantage? It must have.
100%.
How awesome was winning?
It was the greatest feeling. It was the greatest feeling ever. And
Did
seeing
you know you were going to win?
I think I had an idea that I was going to win. I think I had an idea. Yeah.
Because you used to have to wait. I don't like how they do the in-studio finale.
Yeah.
Is that a COVID thing?
Yeah, how they do the at the final tribal, how they announce everything.
Like the past 2 seasons or whatever, they've done that, you know? And
What
it's
are,
not like...
what are your thoughts on it, though? Do you like the seeing it right then as opposed to like, or you like to wait?
I like to wait. I like the live audience. I like the hoopla.
Yeah.
I love it. I picture myself going to that one day, you know? It seems awesome.
Yeah.
The crowd and everything, the energy. And then they, like, give them pizza afterward, you know? It's like, it just feels too casual.
It's weird for me, like as someone who has not made it that far but has played. I love the fact that you can see it instantly. But for me, like knowing people who have won, like Wendell, I worry about like their mental health. Like sometimes it's a lot to process right in that moment, and sometimes depending on if you're a spring or fall season, like that 6 months to a year, you can really like process things. Because if I was out there and I thought I'd win, like I'm going after the cameraman, like it's just so much. So I love it as a viewer, but I know to be out there and to have to like no downtime to process anything, I know it has to be a lot.
I don't like it as a viewer. For me, I like the excitement. I also love seeing everyone's transition, like getting clean and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I love seeing them like with their hair done. Like, oh, he's cute. Like, oh, she's so pretty with her hair done and stuff. Like, I miss that. I bet they bring it back. But what was that time like when the season ended? And between that and the finale, because you say it's almost 6 months.
It's for some seasons it's 6 months. For some people it's like a year.
Wow.
For me, it was the best time because everyone is on the same level field, so people don't know who won, who's not. So anything is like, oh my God, you're going to be for me. So I was walking around like, hello, hey.
Exactly. I feel like that hype builds up a bit more around it, right?
1,000%.
But talking about the mental health of going on Survivor, we touched on this a little bit about the adjustment, because your whole world must become Survivor. Like, that feels like everything, right? Like, you're breathing, sleeping Survivor when you're there. So then all of a sudden you get voted out or whatever. It must be such a culture shock in a sense.
I think that what's good about it is they have this purgatory that's Ponderosa. So when you get voted off, if you get voted off third and you go right back to Philadelphia, then Philadelphia will know that you got voted off early.
Right.
But if you're sent to this place where everyone is kind of waiting until everyone is off the island, then that little place is good because I think it helps you transition out.
Right.
They do have therapists there, and they're very hands-on.
That's nice.
And whenever you need them, like I could call Dr. Liza, one of the therapists, right now, literally, and she'll talk me through things. So I think that Survivor has been in it now 22 years. They're like the show. They know what they're doing.
They are the show. In my opinion.
Right?
Everything else does not compare.
Right?
Everything else feels a little trashy sometimes.
I would agree.
Right?
I would agree. But
Right?
I do love a little trashy.
I know,
We talk a little Bravo Housewives.
I do too. I like it every now and then. But when I'm watching Survivor, like, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I have like Love is Blind on. Like, I'm scrolling and stuff. But like Survivor gets my attention. And something about it seems more authentic and real.
Yeah.
Is any of it scripted? Yeah.
No.
The one thing I'll say is they'll have you do like numerous walkouts to get that epic helicopter shot of you all walking down the island with your torch. But generally speaking, like everything is as you see.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sometimes the story isn't the story that they tell, I'd say. So like they might have a different story to make sure that it ends up with that particular person getting booted that night. Like tell that story to get them out of there, to tell that, to lead to that, or to throw you off leading to that. Whereas sometimes when your boots on the ground on the island, you're like, it didn't exactly happen that way, or that conversation happened a little earlier.
They edit it in a certain way.
Yeah.
But that's just for entertainment purposes. My mom and I always joke, like the way they kind of try to perceive it and then they go to try, but they just try to mess with your head so you have no idea what's going to go on.
Yeah.
And you were just talking about how you went out with an ex at this point, right?
Yes.
And you guys were basically still kind of together.
Working together.
But they made it seem like you guys didn't like each other?
Yeah.
This is some tea.
I mean, Michelle and I communicated like very often before we went out there, knowing that we were going out there and knowing that we had a past. So we said, let's, distance ourselves a little bit with the knowledge that there could be some point that we're on the same island and people might think, oh, they used to kick it, so we're going to go for one of them. And I guess in us kind of acting like we weren't so cool, I think the edit really leaned into that and really made it seem like she wasn't my friend at all. And in actuality, I think they had enough footage to make it look like we were working together.
Right.
But I think they just chose the other side. But
Interesting.
It is what it is.
Interesting. So I want to pivot here a little bit because I was just thinking about something that you were saying on your first season. You were talking about how you were able to read body language and how you read a lot into what people were doing rather than what they were saying.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about your understanding of people after Survivor? Did you develop kind of like a sixth sense a little bit with people due to having to read people all the time on Survivor?
I think there are certain cues in the game of Survivor that I could teach, like even first people going out there for their first time, like in tribal council especially. Okay, especially like if you are say we're all on the island and it's time to vote out Joey, but you know that Joey's my bro and I love him to death, and you and Brice are colluding against Joey, and so we're all sitting at tribal and Joey cracks a joke and that's my bro and I'm like, ah, ha, ha, ha. And I look over at y'all and y'all is just like, I mean, it was a little funny, but I
wasn't that funny.
So like I just in tribal council I learned to like just look at how people are responding to things, or even if you're saying something and someone's not giving you eye contact, or just certain kind of cues that tell you that they might not be in line with you.
Right, because you do have to go to people and be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking, this is how I'm feeling, and either way, if they agree with you or not, they kind of have to act like they agree with you, right?
Right. Yeah. And I also feel like, I ain't been to as many tribal councils as Wendell, but I feel like the thing that for me on my season, what took me off now, I say a lot of words wrong, so I'm going to try this one, and Wendell here to help me. But what knocked me off, would you say like I know it's not kilt, but tilt, maybe?
Knocked you off your
kilt.
My kilt. Did I say it right? Okay.
I think that's right?
Huh?
So we won't go for it because it's doing the most.
Is there a term called off kilter?
Off kilter?
Yes.
So knock him off my kilt. So I was right.
Yeah,
Okay, come on. Thank you.
We'll let the listeners determine that.
Please. And I think what knocked me off or knocked me out my kilt was like Survivor's a numbers game, and like going into Survivor, I was very aware, knowing what is going on, but I think everything what he's saying is very much true. However, as a viewer, what you don't take into consideration is that like when you hear your name, everything goes out the window. It's like Joey coming for me. Like then it's like that emotion, and I think that like I was not able to get my emotions together and like remember that it's a numbers game. Because when they come up for you and you're like, well, what did I do? I'm just sitting here looking pretty. And y'all, like, so it's I think that it's more difficult than just that. And also another thing is that I feel like you know who's working with you and you know who's not. Like, we all could be on the tribe and we all ha 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 he. But you and I are like, we gotta get Wendell out. We ain't. But Wendell and I, all we're doing is ha ha. Like, we don't talk strategy. That is like the biggest sign. Indicator.
Right.
And you step back and you're like, well, I'm sitting here smelling Wendell. He stink. And we talk all the time, but he has never yet asked me who I'm voting for or how things are going. So that also is a
telltale sign.
Telltale.
So these are great little tidbits for people if you're going on Survivor. What would be some tidbits for maybe getting on Survivor? Because I myself am just waiting to make my application video. I have my Boston Rob little plug in there. What do you guys think makes a good application video? You obviously got it done quickly, and then you got it done your last time. You said there was kind of a shift there. So what do you think they're looking for, especially now as the seasons have changed and evolved and we're getting so much more representation? What are they looking for?
I think they're looking for players. And one of the things that I always tell people is that, like, talk about yourself, but talk about your gameplay. Talk about the players that you would be like. Talk about the players that you would not be like, and really give, like, examples. And really, in this new era of Survivor, like, it is a fast-paced game in 26 days. And I think it's, like, it sounds so cliche, but there's a difference of, like, bringing your full self to the video. Not like, there's a difference of being like, I'm a Survivor fan, but it's really like, listen, I'm coming, like, so it's like really bring that energy.
Yes.
And sometimes people are like, I don't get it. And I always say a glass of wine or two ain't never hurt.
They won't know. Nobody's asking. There's no box you have to check.
How would they know?
They'll never know. They'll never know. What are your thoughts?
I agree with Brice.
Yeah.
You got to like put your personality out there, and I say show it in like all your like how you're speaking like to the camera. Like let them know. Show it in your face. Show them that like it's in you.
Yeah.
And also know the game. Like I know that we're Philly survivors, and then right now, James Jones is another Philly survivor that's on right now, and he happens to be a friend of ours. And people around Philly might be like, "Oh, I want to be on that show. Oh, you won $1 million out there, and James is on there. He's about to win $1 million too. I want to be on the show." And I'm like, "Do you even watch?"
Right.
Like, You can make an audition video and say, hey, I'd be good on Survivor because I survive and I do this in the streets and this. But it's like, no, do you know the game? And do you know modern Survivor? Have you watched these recent seasons? Because the way the game has changed, they want to know that if you're out there and one of these crazy twists is thrown at you, you'll be able to adjust and adaptable. So like they want to see that you know the game, that it's in here, and that you're someone that the audience would listen to or want to listen to. So you're a good narrator. So you're good at telling stories.
Right.
Yeah.
So all that, and you don't need you don't need any of these fancy cameras. Take your phone.
Yeah.
Right? You know, clearly, you know.
Yeah.
No, take your phone and just like put it up somewhere and just stand and let them know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't need fancy cameras to do anything nowadays. Like they help. These ones are beautiful. Obviously, the content is fire.
Yeah.
However, like you can do the cameras are just as good in certain aspects, and I think that's so important with just putting yourself out there. Do you guys feel like putting yourself out there in Survivor has led you to like almost put yourself out there and more opportunities? And obviously, you're touring now. Do you feel like you're a little bit more able to adapt to crazy experiences?
I mean, I think so. I think I have a very unique experience in the Survivor community because, you know, I'm the third boot. And I just, you know, it seems like you've done your history, but like can you tell me another third boot that has like been able to evolve and really love the community?
Right.
I could be a person that is very upset at the outcome that has happened and just be sour towards the game. But instead, I use it to uplift and support people, and I love the game. And so like I don't feel like I'm a player. I feel like I'm a fan that has access, like special access. But I definitely think it has, you know, led me to a lot of amazing things. Like we're currently on the Brice Wen Presents Tour 43. I have an amazing podcast. You know, I have a line of calendars, Zaddy calendars. I'm on my 4th year, and every year they have sold out. Get you one. A chicken salad.
TikTok, my boy, I love it.
Yes, but
ridiculous.
It's the opportunities are endless, and I think that it's like just showing up as yourself and just, you know, and I'm just very blessed.
Yeah, I love it. It's awesome because you guys have really developed strong personal brands, and that's something that is just so valuable in these days and everything you can do. When people fuck with you and what you're doing and really vibe with who you are, you could sell them merchandise, they'll listen to your content, they'll come to your events, and I feel like that's such a powerful opportunity that Survivor brings you. And I want to bring it back to your original story of going from lawyer to then freelance entrepreneur. What was that transition like? Because I really resonate with that as someone who went to a business school and had people around me all going the 9-to-5 route, and I've just gone full entrepreneurial route. So how important is, you know, having a personal brand and being able to do your thing? How empowering has that been?
It's been very empowering. I know that when I was going on the island as someone who's like a freelance furniture builder, designer, entrepreneur, going on the island, I wanted to just get out there with nothing and just build everything. And I really, as a builder, HGTV was my goal. You know, I wanted to be on that network. Yep. And so if I can get out there on this island and not have anything, but show all these people that I could build dope things and out of nothing, and allow that to help my game in the game of Survivor, but also, hey, maybe I could get some good looks on for HGTV or any of these other networks. That was a goal of mine. So I remember going out there my first season, when I like categorized all the things I built, it was over 30 things, like different table over here. We had a section, we called it like the sectional sofa over here. We had the bedroom over here. So many things, even games that like we would leave, and when we would come back, we'd see producers playing some of my games out there and stuff. So I just wanted
selling them on eBay.
You know, like, hold on a second, that looks like my design. So I wanted to build a lot just so I might get good looks. And fortunately, when I got back home to Philly, a production company that does a lot of work with HGTV reached out to me, and they started developing me for HG shows. So I was able to become like a host, you know, with HGTV from this little dream of mine, which was awesome and still is awesome. And in addition to that, and to speak to Brice's point, we try to tell people that are going on the show, or whether they're about to go on, whether they've just come off and their season is gonna air, or whether they're currently on, it doesn't really matter how you end up, even how you're portrayed on the show. It doesn't matter if you're the first boot off of the show. It's really taking whatever it is that you do now and utilizing however short of a time you were on there to like springboard that. And it's really about who you are, off of the show. You can look like the most evil villain out there on the show, but that could be an edit or whatever, and it's how you are. And when you meet people in real life, like I was like a villain on season 40, but I have yet to have anyone come up to me with any kind of hatred or animosity or anything, saying like, you know, whatever they could say to me. It's all love at all times. So as far as the people on the island and coming off, it's like you can create whatever you want off the show. And I don't know, we took a little tangent, but like...
But no, yeah, I'm here for it. But
I love it.
I also love it, and I also think, not to cut you off, but to cut you off, I think that it's important also to have a community, a tribe, and people that really support you. And again, like, I love to just give this man his flowers. First of all, we ain't... multiple HGTV shows, okay? Hot Mess House. We like
Smart Home 20.
Smart Home. Like, listen,
Beach
like
Cabana Royale. We
Beach
did.
Cabana Royale. Like, so he has accomplished
Hometown Takeover. We
Hometown
did.
Takeover. But I think it's just important to, like, you know, one of his goals out there was to be on HGTV and to be an HGTV host, and he has like made that come true. And he's such a huge supporter of mine, and always like bigging me up, and always kind of like pouring into myself. And I think that it's just really good to surround yourself with like people that like want to support you and like want to see like they have the same mindset with you. And I just think that's really important, because a lot of time you got friends around you that aren't really happy for your success or don't want you to be successful. And I think that, like, you know, I'm in my early to late 20s to mid 30s, but you know,
to early 40s.
Don't do that, because Wendell's a lot older than me. But I've had a lot of friend circles in my life, and I think that like being Wendell's friend is like seeing how much he puts into other people and really wants people to win. It's like infectious, and like, you know, you want to see people win. So I just think that that's really important. Sometimes you gotta change your friend circle.
That was beautiful.
That
was so beautiful.
Brice.
I think this is really important, because this is obviously something that could resonate in the game of Survivor, but also just in real life, and the power of having people who do support you. Do you find that the community that you've built after Survivor, either as other players or fans even, or just opportunities that have come, have almost resonated with you more than maybe, you know, people you were hanging out with before Survivor, or kind of your life before that? So
I think a myth on Survivor is when you get off the season, you're with your cast, and you're like, we will be best friends forever. And then like 6 months down the line, you're not even talking to half the cast, just because life is life. Yeah. And I think that like the beauty of the Survivor community is it's a community, and you can find your own tribe. And like, you know, it might be someone from 7 seasons ago that you link up with, and that like you can just kind of create magic and friendships with. So I think that is really...
Yeah, to bounce off of that, I think... we always say find your tribe, even to the new people. There are so many people in the community, and some might not always have the best intentions. So we just basically tell people, hey, go find those genuine people that you click with. And I think we're in a very fortunate position with our all the watch parties we throw. We're very engaged with the current castaways, the past castaways and whatnot. And even the people that we've had parties now for a couple seasons, and we will see people that came to our parties that we might have said something to. Now they're on the show. And like, the way I look at it is you just continue to plant seeds in people. Keep motivating everyone. And granted, some people might, you know, at a certain point, or this seed might blossom, but it just might not be your fruit or something like that, or they might not give back to you, but that shouldn't stop you from planting those seeds and continuing to motivate and encourage people. So I think on our tour, that's one of our goals. It's to bring everyone together, first of all. And like, the election was yesterday, you know, like the midterms, they were yesterday, and results are still coming in a country that has been very divided because of like social media bubbles and all of that stuff. Our goal is to bring people together. And we actively reach out to people that we might think don't have the same views as us to come, like, just come to this party. We all love the same show. We love it so much, you know? And on that show, we would probably work together, you know, no matter what. So in bringing different castaways that have different viewpoints together, we also think that too is infectious or contagious, or can like permeate and just show other people that, you know, we can all come together. So that's one of our, like, that could be our number one goal, just to bring people together.
which is a beautiful goal.
Yeah.
Because you just said it perfectly. We are living in a very divided world, and social media only heightens that. But here you have Survivor, right? And
Right?
like, everyone can bond over fucking Survivor, right? It's just a feel-good show. You guys did something really special. You guys changed Survivor. You made a difference. Let's talk about that, because I honestly didn't even know this.
Yeah, I think we had a hand in helping change the trajectory of Survivor. You know, during 2020 with the loss of with the killing of George Floyd, a lot of the survivors came together and thought, like, what could we do as our part in our realm of reality TV? And we just really saw a lot of things in Survivor that we weren't necessarily happy with. The representation was just not there. Like I said, I was the first openly gay Black player on season 28, and there were just so many things with people of color on Survivor, the lack of diversity, how at times there's only one Black man or one Black woman, and how it can really like ostracize you. Even on Wendell at Winners at War, when he made the merge, he had a conversation with Jeremy, and all of a sudden they became the biggest threat out of anywhere. Like, these two people?
I love Jeremy too.
He's tremendous.
We love Jeremy. So, but we came together and we started a petition with myself, Wendell Holland, Jatia Hart-Taylor, Julia Carter, Jamal Shipman, Ramona, Sabrina Thompson-Mitchell, and we started a petition, and we just had the fans sign it, and, you know...
On change.org.
On change.org. And again, it's really kind of like sticking your neck out there in the sense, because there is no Survivor player that does not want to play Survivor again. And, you know, us speaking out to CBS and just telling them our experiences, we didn't know what the reception would be. However, we kind of sort of wanted to approach it with, like, we're not calling CBS out. We're calling them in. We want to let them know as us, as people of color, like, what our experiences is like. And I just have to say the reception of CBS was amazing. You know, they wanted to listen. They wanted to know our thought process. And it was just really a great experience. Would you not say? I
definitely agree. It was a collective that got together and we said, okay, traditionally the minorities or the LGBTQ or the other on this island is traditionally targeted early or first or, you know, so is there a way that we can change that and
bring more people in that look like them, so it's not that
an automatic other.
Yeah, exactly. Automatic other. Exactly. Yeah. Because that must be weird.
Right?
Must be weird, because both of your seasons when you went on, things were still...
I was the only Black man. There were 2 Black women. There was 1 Asian man.
Yeah.
But still, there weren't a lot of minorities on the show back then. And
that's the entire season.
The whole season.
Right. Never mind your tribe, the people you're sleeping with, living with.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm a big proponent of, like, if there's something you're passionate about, then you can fight for that cause, or you should fight for that cause if you're passionate about it. And if you have some kind of influence over something, in our case, we were on Survivor. Maybe we can get together and do something to change it a little bit or make it a little better. So yes, we had the change.org petition. We got so many signatures. Then we had a meeting with Jeff, a Zoom meeting. This is during the pandemic, with Jeff and a few CBS like bigwigs, like big dogs, and we laid out our experiences. I told them about my Winners at War experience, how I thought that my portrayal on the show, maybe even some of my actions on the show, like I did vote out Parv. She is one of America's favorites. She's one of the Rushmores. It wouldn't make sense for me to sit next to a Parv at the end, so I did vote her out. But also couple that with my portrayal on the show as this mean ex-boyfriend kind of guy. I just got so many like negative comments and like very ugly comments flooding my social medias. The worst words you could think were hurled at me or things. And I told that to Jeff and them, and I let them know that. Brice spoke about his experience. We all said our experience, and they took the information and they said, okay, we'll let you guys know. We'll come back to you. And so we were stuck for like weeks on end, like, all right, what are they gonna do something? Like, I don't know. Are we gonna be blackballed because we stuck our necks out to try to make it better? But we came from a genuine place, so we think that this could be good. And then they came back to us and they told us all of the changes they were gonna make. 50% minority representation on Survivor, but also all their shows. Big Brother, Amazing Race. They were gonna have more diversity in casting. And we also said to tell proper stories, we need more diversity behind the camera, because if someone has walked my path that is behind the camera, or that's the storyteller, like the producer, maybe they can tell my story a little better.
And tell it more accurately.
Right? Or know certain things that, like, hey, if we portray him like this, that's not the
and it has real world effects to it. And like when we think about like George Floyd, like what if the cop watched Survivor, and we know that like in time Survivor is the only time people see black people, and if they are constantly seeing these images of black men being aggressive and like this is what they think black men are, so it's really important to tell a proper story, which is why I love so much about this season. And some people were complaining like at the beginning of this current season, we got so much of the backstories of people, it really humanized them, and it's like if we could just change that one person's mind or that doesn't interact with, you know, LGBTQ plus people as well. It really just helps drive the point forward that we're all the same. And if we think more about what brings us together, we will be in such a better place.
And up until that point, we'd seen like the previous however many winners of Survivor, they were all male. And I think I might have been the one black male in the previous 5, 6, 7 seasons or whatever. But it was just a bunch of guys that just won Survivor. It's like the bro club that just won Survivor. And what we thought was that in changing the makeup of the island, we're gonna have more women winners. We're gonna have more minority winners. And what then happened the very next season was the first Canadian woman of Filipino descent, Erica, won. That's the first. And then the very next season, Marianne won.
Loved Marianne.
And like then you have on Big Brother, they changed the makeup of Big Brother. The very next season, Xavier wins. The very next season, Taylor wins. So now we're seeing. I think what we're seeing is because it's a more fair shot in these shows. We're gonna see like this beautiful rainbow of winners coming out now, and I think that's just gonna help all around.
Yeah. I love how you talk about humanizing them and showing their backstories and showing the backstory of maybe someone in the LGBTQ community or someone who is black. And like you said, some people just don't have access to meeting these kind of people and knowing these kind of people. And when you watch these shows, these people become your idols in a sense. You really start to look up to them, right?
Yeah.
So if you're someone who grows up in a certain kind of community where you're only seeing white people all the time, right? If your idol then becomes someone who does look different than you, what that opens up to even just the younger generations, right? And that's the beauty of a show like Big Brother, or the beauty of a show like Survivor. It's this meshing of people, because that's what we are. We're people, right?
Yes, that's it.
And I think it's so amazing that you guys really used your power to make that change and do something about it, because you guys do have a large Survivor fan base, because one, this mattered to you, but two, you're like, this matters to the fans as well. So you involved them. So obviously you've made this change and had this impact. Where do you still want to see the show go? Because obviously there's still a lot of work that needs to be done in the world and even in reality TV, right?
For sure. This is a passion of mine. I really want more representations of black trans women. I think that Survivor has done a great job with the LGBTQ plus community. We have 2 trans players, 2 trans men players, but I really would love to see a black trans woman specifically just within the LGBTQ plus community. If there is a hierarchy, if any, you know, the black trans women are at the bottom. They're killed at such a higher rate. Their murders go unsolved. It's as if like they don't see them. And so like I think having a black trans woman on Survivor would just do so much for the child at home that's watching and can have something to see, and just to see the beauty and the strength that is of a trans woman. So that is really what I would love to see in Survivor, because especially in this climate in which we're at, where all of these anti-trans laws, all these anti-LGBTQ plus laws, I think that Survivor could be a place where it humanizes people. And I think that there a lot of times like the trans community gets sexualized, it gets demonized. And I think that on a platform like Survivor, where we are just down to nothing and we are ourselves, we tell stories, we do different things, I think that it can do a world for the trans community. But I just always like to be specific with my black trans women community, because it is the community that does not get talked about. It's the community that is just like forgotten. And if any platform that I have, I always just like to show love to my trans community.
And I'm so happy that this platform has been able to spread that even just a little bit further, because I just think it's so beautiful what Survivor really can represent. It's so much more than just a show for $1 million, you know. And it's awesome how you'll see people from all different walks of life also aligning, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you think that kind of represents what we need more of in the world?
I think it absolutely does. Because Survivor is viewed as this microcosm of, you know, America, but we've changed it a little bit, because previously it was like, all right, America is 13% black. That means we need 1 to 2 black people on the show. No, let's make it this beautiful melting pot right now, and show America and show the world, because we have fans everywhere. Literally, we're doing the tour in the US. Yeah. We're going international next season. But
that's so cool.
It's really cool, right? But that, now seeing all these different people on this island working together with a common love for the game, but also like a common fight to like win this game together, or to get towards the end together, it should be able to show the country like, hey, look, all these people are so different from all these different walks of life. Jesse used to be in a gang, and now he's out there killing. So he's doing such a great job on Survivor right now. I know you have a little catching up to do. Spoiler alert.
I do. It's all right.
But like,
it's all right.
This particular cast is so great. Jesse, then he went on to like go to UC Berkeley and Duke. He has a master's from Duke. He's killing it, right?
Shows you what some good environments can do for people as well, right? And
for
that kind
sure.
of exposure.
Yeah, and he was talking on the show about having gang tattoos removed from his body. And like, now people out in the real world can see this person that doesn't look like them, doesn't necessarily talk like them, but they can understand that this is a human person that is good inside, and they can work with that person.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Survivor's been doing, especially these last few seasons. It's like, all right, we're intentionally putting a super duper diverse group out there. They're gonna work together. They're gonna figure it out. Some of them are gonna backstab each other, whatever, that's the game. But ultimately, you have so many different walks of life working together. And ultimately, that's what we want in America.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And the way they're able to work together and switch and backstab each other,
Right?
and move, and it's...
And even hug each other when they're getting
Right.
voted out. Like, yo,
Exactly.
you got me.
Yeah.
All right, love you. See you at Ponderosa.
Exactly, good game. And what Survivor does is it brings awareness, and I think this is just what we need more awareness of, is any person, given their circumstance, if you lived my exact life and you were me, you would be like me. If I lived your exact life and I grew up with your family and your generation and your ancestors, I would be just like you. There's that core similarity between all of us. And the less we judge people for who they are, because who they are is based off of their
Environment.
and their environment and their life and their experiences, and so much energy that comes in through ancestors. Obviously, you know, if you just grew up with my parents, we would still be different people, but there are these different components that contribute to who we are. So to judge someone for who they are, you haven't walked their path, right?
That's so true.
And Survivor brings awareness to the different paths that people walk, right?
Yeah.
And I think it also brings blind sides. Like, you know, everyone has bias, and it's okay. Sometimes you have to check your bias. And I think that is so important, that some people, oh no, I don't see color. Well, you should.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You should. I want you to see me in color, because that's how you know. And it's like, it's okay, but it's like just important to check your bias and check, like, and it's to have a conversation, and also to open the door to have conversations. You don't have to know everything, and it's all about how you approach things. And if you don't know, what do? Ask.
And be willing to learn. Like you said, everyone has blind spots. Like we've walked our paths. We don't know your path, and you might not recognize something that might be a trigger to me when I see something. But if I communicate that to you and you're open to it, then you understand it. And the way I like to live my life is, all right, recognize that you do have blind spots. You know, America's bubbles right now because of social media. Everyone has their bubble. It's an echo chamber. You hear everything that people that think like you think. That's all that's going on in your bubble.
Exactly. It's just confirmed,
Right?
yes.
And
Re-emphasize.
Yeah. So just if you can understand that you can learn something from someone else, and if you're open to learning about the life they've lived or they've traveled, then you can understand, and I think you could be more compassionate towards that person.
And not get offended by it either, right? Because I'm unaware of a certain thing. If you let me know that something might bother, why does that become a me problem where now my feelings are hurt and I put it back on you, right? I think so many people are so defensive of either maybe being racist or biased or whatever it is. Oh, I'm not. It's like, no, just hear me.
Just hear me.
Just hear me, right?
Take
like,
it in.
Exactly. Even if it's just like, hey, like I made this cake, right? I put all my love in this cake. this cake's disgusting, right? I'm like, listen, like I put a lot of work into this cake, right? That hurt me. Just being able to listen and just take it as simple of an example as that, right? I think we just need to be less offended and more open to listening, right?
That's it. Yeah.
It's a powerful thing, and I hope we're getting there because there's been a lot of extremes in the past couple years and everything. You go.
I was just gonna. That's exactly what I was gonna say. In a world of bubbles, it's social media is designed to point at the other bubble and push them to the extreme, or point at them and say that they're the extreme right or those are the extreme left. When in actuality, like when I meet people, it's just like, you're outside of my bubble, but you're just a nice, cool dude. Like, let's go play basketball. You're a cool person. It's not, and again, we're just getting out of political season / it's just gonna go on forever, I think. I don't know, but
until who knows until everything collapses.
Yeah, but like, if we stop and so much money goes into these political ads where all I hear on the radio or see on TV is this extremist or that extremist. No, like, the majority of the country is just like good people that just want to make this thing work.
Yeah.
We aren't, there are extremes in all the sides, but like, that's what bubbles do to you. It makes you otherize and push someone that is actually so much closer to you. You look at them as if they're so much further away from you. And yeah, it's that whole extremism, I just don't love that either.
And the people who are extremes because, again, their environment and the content. And that's where, again, something like Survivor or something like the events you're doing, right? You can bring people of all different looks, shapes, and sizes together over one common goal, really. Yep. So tell me a little bit about, the purpose behind your events. I know we've talked about it a little bit, but it seems to be so much more than just bringing people together to watch Survivor.
Well, we all have the common goal. We love Survivor. We have this common thing that we're all Survivor nerds at heart. And Brice has been throwing parties since his season.
Yes.
And go ahead.
And no, I just, again, making lemonade out of lemons. Like, I've been throwing Survivor parties since my season. When Wendell came on, he was having a party. I was like, oh my God, because, I had to text him because, he ain't reach out to me. We ain't forget that point, okay?
I think you got to buy him like a couple of drinks about this.
I still don't want him to text me. Maybe I should just block him.
Get the message.
Yes. So Wendell's season came on and, we threw parties in Philadelphia, and it was just like the melting pot of people that were there, and it's like, we love it. And so we were like, we should try this out. Let's go here, let's go there, let's go there. And I think it's funny because maybe 2 seasons ago, when we were just maybe hitting like 4 different cities, people were like, are you guys on tour or something? And I was telling Wendell, I feel like this is a random story, but I'm a huge Destiny's Child fan.
Okay.
And back, writings on the wall, say my name. When the members were going out like Survivor, and like people were like making fun of Destiny's Child, like, oh, they can't keep a member. Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle was like, we won't write the song Survivor. And so people kept saying, like, what, y'all on tour? So we were like, well, listen, let's call a thing. Brice Wen Presents the tour. And it's really just amazing to have a friend, to 2 black men that love the game of Survivor, and not only for us to go to multiple cities, but for this tour was so different. We said, you know what? We're going to call them out. We're going to say we're going here. And it's just been truly a blessing that each event has been so successful, and it's been such a melting pot of so many different people of walks of life, ages, colors, creeds, everything, and it's all just such an amazing time.
I think I agree with everything Brice said. For this particular season, 43, we were just a lot more intentional at the beginning of it, because last season, people would from everywhere would hit us up. Hey, come here, and we would say, I'd be like, yo, Brice, you trying to go to Atlanta in 2 weeks? Like, get a flyer, let's do it. But this season, we're like, hold on a second. If we just think about it beforehand, put all of our dates out up front, now the fans can really plan and really like, all right, they need to take a day off or they need to do this to travel. So we wanted to do them a solid by putting it all out up front. But also, I mean, now we can gauge like how much effort we need to put into each city now, because we know like how many people are going to events up front. And I guess just being more intentional with our actions and with this tour has allowed us to, I guess, pour more into the fans, get more out of it, make more connections in the cities, and think a lot bigger for next season.
Yes, because we doing the most. Okay.
Doing the most, damn right, doing the most. Survivor, combining it all together.
Yes.
I'm so grateful you guys came on today. This has been so much more than just Survivor talk. It's been human to human. It's been super insightful, and I'm just so grateful. I need to know, in addition to the tour, what else are you guys excited about? What else are you passionate about? What do you really want the listeners to know about you and what you're working on?
Ooh. Well, I mean, we have DC on December 7th. We have the finale in LA on December 14th. Ooh. That's going to be huge. We have like 30-ish people, reality people already coming. One thing we want to do is like reach out even further to the reality community. We want to bring like all these reality people that the fans love and that we love together. We want to form some kind of network where like I can call up Brice and ask, hey, or if Brice is good at XYZ, he's on the pod, maybe we could get someone on his pod to promote this or that. So we just want this great network with the reality community, but also we just want to provide a great space for the fans and a safe space. That's one of our huge things, just creating safe spaces.
For me, it's like, my podcast, the Purple Pants podcast, where, Wendell and I and Jack Atkins from The Circle, we cover Survivor.
That's what he's from.
Yes, The Circle. Emily!
I'm like, I knew it. He was one of my favorites.
Ridiculous.
He was amazing.
Yes,
So
Emily. That makeup, that doll.
So funny.
Ruined his game, yeah.
Totally gave it away. That was the best season of
Yes,
the show, too.
By far, we love Jack Atkins. But yeah, also just talking about like reality TV, casual tea, just talking about what's going on in the world. And if you really love Survivor, I talked about it before, but my passion project is my Brice Izyah 2023 Zaddy calendar that is available now if you click the link in my Instagram bio. But if you like Survivors, I have all the Survivors in there. And
that's awesome.
For me, people think like, oh, you're just picking hot men. Well, one, Wendell in it, so he can't be hot men. But for me, as I've taken back the word zaddy. To me, what a zaddy is an ally. Somebody that can get along with amazing people, that is friendly, that is kind. And if they're not bad on the eyes, it doesn't hurt, but it comes in all different shapes and sizes. And a zaddy can be non-binary as well. So my Brice Izyah 2023 zaddy calendar is just amazing. And with the holiday season coming up, what better gift than a zaddy?
We'll gift you one today.
Oh, I love it. Yes. I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much. I want you to plug yourselves. Let them know where to follow you on Instagram, any other handles you have. I know you have the podcast, so just plug it off.
Yes, the Purple Pants Podcast on Instagram, or you can follow myself, Brice Izyah. That's BriceIzyah. And we have the Brice Wen Presents Instagram page as well. So, come on, say hi.
Yes, and I am Wendell Holland at WendellHolland on all things. My company is Beve Unlimited. That's BEVE Unlimited on Instagram, and that's it.
I love how he just turned into a used car salesman. And it's Wendell Holland.
Lots of L's in there.
I got a lot of double L's, yeah.
Guys, thanks so much. You are awesome. Thank you for bringing me into your world a little bit today. I'm so excited to share this. Thank you guys for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Shannon.
Thanks for sweating your asses off.
Oh my God.
We do the most for you.
Amazing, boys.